Rising like an ancient sentinel from the cobalt waters of the Arabian Sea, there lies a place so strange, so singular in its wonders, that it seems carved from the pages of a forgotten science fiction tale. This is Socotra, the alien island. Remote, windswept, and almost defiantly unique, Socotra's landscapes stand apart from anything else on Earth. For countless generations, its ragged limestone cliffs and sweeping sand dunes have held their secrets close, unbothered by the passing tides of empires and explorers. As the dawnlight spills across the archipelago, it reveals an ecological treasure chest, a living museum of the ancient world, a refuge for species whose ancestors once walked alongside the dinosaurs. The story of Socotra begins deep in geological time. Once fused to the mighty supercontinent Gondwana, the island began its solitary journey during the Miocene epoch, some 20 million years ago. Since then, isolation has been its greatest sculptor. It has parted ways not only from continental landmasses, but also from the familiar rhythms of life as we know them. While the modern maps label it as Yemeni territory, Socotra is, in truth, a bridge between worlds, politically anchored to Asia, yet geographically tethered to Africa. The archipelago itself consists of 4 islands: Abd al-Quri, Samha, Darsa, and the great island of Socotra, which alone accounts for more than 95% of the land. Spanning 132 kilometers in length, it stretches like an emerald crescent, etched with hidden coves and soaring plateaus. Its name, too, is a small enigma. Some scholars trace it to the Greek Dioscoridou, the island of the Dioscuri. Others believe it springs from 2 Arabic words, souk, meaning market, and kutra, Drogon's blood. But no title can fully capture the otherworldly aura that clings to these shores. Archaeologists excavating near Hadibu, the island's modest capital, unearthed Paleolithic tools from the Oldowan culture, relics shaped by human hands nearly 2 million years ago. In the shadowed chambers of Hoke Cave, inscriptions in ancient scripts, Indian Brahmi, Greek, Palmyrene, South Arabian, even Bactrian, whisper of sailors who came seeking myrrh, pearls, or safe anchorage, leaving behind their marks in the limestone like fading signatures on the walls of time. Across centuries, explorers and conquerors tried to claim the island's hidden wealth. In 1507, Portuguese fleets under Tristan da Cunha and Alfonso de Albuquerque stormed the port of Souk, clashing with the Mara Sultanate. But the same arid, unyielding land that nourished strange trees proved impossible to tame. By 1511, the Portuguese had retreated, defeated not by men, but by nature itself. In 1834, the East India Company stationed a garrison on Socotra in the expectation that the Mara Sultan of Socotra would accept an offer to sell the island. The lack of good anchorages proved to be as much a problem for the British as for the Portuguese, and being faced with the unexpected firm refusal of the Sultan to sell, the British left in 1835. But it is not the human footprint that makes Socotra famous. It is the astonishing tapestry of life that unfolds here in defiance of all logic. Nowhere is this more evident than in the haunting silhouette of the dragon blood tree. From a distance, it looks like a giant mushroom sprouting from a rocky plain, its branches arching into an umbrella crown. At dawn, when the light glows crimson on its bark, you might almost believe the legends that these trees were born from the blood of ancient dragons. The sap itself, a deep red resin, has been prized for centuries as a dye, a medicine, and a wonder. Some of these trees have stood watch for over 100 years, their roots locked in the same stone that repelled would-be conquerors. The dragon blood tree is just one of hundreds of botanical marvels. Out of the island's 825 documented plant species, an astonishing 307 exist nowhere else on Earth, a testament to eons of uninterrupted evolution. The cucumber tree, with its fleshy, bottle-like trunk tapering to a spindled crown, looks less like a plant and more like an alien sculpture. Unlike any other member of the cucumber family, it grows as a tree rather than a vine, its pale yellow flowers blooming in the cool embrace of the Socotran uplands. Scientists believe it first took root long before Socotra drifted away from Gondwana, an ancient lineage twice as old as the island itself. Such biological isolation extends beyond the realm of plants. The island shelters 31 species of land animals, 29 of which are endemic. Reptiles scuttle among sun-bleached rocks, from the Socotra rock gecko to the island's elusive chameleons, their colors shifting in kaleidoscopic display. The skies flutter with life. The Socotra starling, sunbird, sparrow, and bunting all call these cliffs home, their songs a chorus heard nowhere else. Even the island's insects are unique. Nearly 90% of its butterflies and beetles are found only here. As for mammals, only bats arrived unassisted by human hands. Goats, cows, and camels, their hooves carving paths into the hills, are much newer residents, brought by waves of settlers who relied on their resilience to survive the island's severe seasons. Hadibu, the island's largest settlement, is a place where the past still clings to the present. Nearly 50,000 people live here, most belonging to the Al-Mara, a South Arab tribe whose roots run deep in the sands of time. Along the northern coast, their livelihoods revolve around the ancient rhythms of fishing, herding, and tending to groves of date palms. Their language itself is Socotri, an unwritten tongue linked to the pre-Islamic world. Historical records indicate that until the mid-1st century AD, the islanders followed local indigenous religions. Later, a Christian missionary named Thomas the Apostle took refuge on the island after a shipwreck and converted many locals to Christianity. Socotra is also mentioned in the travels of Marco Polo, where he reports that the inhabitants are baptized Christians. According to the 10th century Arab geographer Abu Muhammad al-Hassan al-Hamadani, most of the island's population were Christians at the time. However, in the 16th century, after the Mara Sultan of eastern Yemen took control of the island, the majority of the population gradually converted to Islam. Remnants of old churches and tombstones still remain as traces of Socotra's Christian past. Socotra's importance is not only biological or historical, but also strategic. Perched near the confluence of major maritime routes, the archipelago has long served as a waypoint for merchants, explorers, and empires alike. Its relative isolation finally yielded to recognition in 2008 when UNESCO designated Socotra as a World Heritage Site. Even today, its future hangs in delicate balance, threatened by climate shifts, resource exploitation, and political turmoil. And so this island, forged by continental drift, safeguarded by isolation, and adorned with life forms that belong to no other place, stands as both a sanctuary and a reminder. Here, the forces of nature and time have conspired to create a living world apart, a last outpost of the primordial earth. In the end, Socotra remains a place that defies ordinary description. An island adrift between myth and reality. As the sun sets over the jagged horizon, painting the dragon blood trees in silhouette, one truth becomes clear. On Socotra, the past has never truly disappeared. It has merely been waiting in patient isolation to be rediscovered. It is a place unlike any other, a remnant of a world that no longer exists. A biosphere both alien and ancient. It is Earth, but not as we know it. This is Socotra, the island that time forgot and nature remembered.